TVN News Broadcast. TVN News Broadcast. Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Claveria. This is your radio broadcaster, Vinji Maluay, and you're listening to TVN News Broadcast. These are the headlines for today's news. Local news. China intent on occupying West Philippine Sea Lorenzana. Regional news. The Philippine government expressed concern after spotting more than 200 Chinese fishing vessels. National news. Duterte to skip ceremonial turnover of other vaccine brands. International news. United Kingdom Prime Minister Johnson to set out travel plans after COVID-19 vaccine program takes off. Showbiz report. Sam Versosa III and the new era of high fashion streetwear. Sports updates. Filipino team finishes 5th in Singapore. And those are the headlines for today's news. Stay tuned, our avid listeners, because we'll be discussing these issues later. We'll be right back after this break. Time check, 6 o'clock. Time check is brought to us by ToeFingusNoMore.com. Visit the ToeFingusNoMore.com page for more free month supply of Toe Fingers No More. You know who thinks Toe Fingers is funny? People have never had it, but you know what it's really like. The embarrassing smell, the unbearable itching, and of course never knowing when another toe will fall off. Toe Fingers No More neutralizes the smell and gets rid of the itching. And when used as directed, Toe Fingers No More helps you keep the rest of your toes. So if you're ready to leave behind the pain and embarrassment of toe fingers forever, go to ToeFingusNoMore.com for free month supply of Toe Fingers No More. TVN News Broadcast. TVN News Broadcast. The Philippine Defense Chief on Sunday pressed his attack against the month-long presence of dozens of Chinese vessels at Tarif, accusing China of planning to again occupy maritime features in the West Philippine Sea or areas within the country's exclusive economic zone. The dispute erupted last month when Manila lodged a diplomatic protest with Beijing and demanded the withdrawal from the Julian Philippe Reef of more than 200 Chinese maritime militia vessels. Local news report, Vinji Maluay. TVN News Broadcast. TVN News Broadcast. The Philippine government expressed concern after spotting more than 200 Chinese fishing vessels it believed were crewed by militias at a reef claimed by both countries in the South China Sea, but it did not immediately lodge the protest. A government body overseeing the disputed region said late Saturday that about 220 Chinese vessels were seen moored at Whitsun Reef on March 7. It released pictures of the vessels lying side by side in one of the most hotly contested areas of the strategic waterway. Regional News Report, Vinji Maluay. TVN News Broadcast. President Rodrigo Duterte will not be attending the ceremonial turnover of other COVID-19 vaccine brands to the Philippines, Malacanang said Monday. In a palace press briefing, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said Duterte's attendance to the arrival of China's Sinovac-made CoronaVac vaccines purchased by the Philippine government on March 29 will be the last. National News Report, Vinji Maluay. TVN News Broadcast. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will set out plans to reopen the economy and eventually relaunch international travel on Monday, April 5, when he updates the coronavirus roadmap, aided by one of the fastest vaccine rollouts in the world. As much of Europe enters new lockdowns to tackle certain cases, Johnson will give an update on his targeted plan to ease restriction in the coming months, a huge boost for one of the worst-hit countries during the pandemic. International News Report, Vinji Maluay. TVN News Broadcast. TVN News Broadcast. Sports update, Filipino Dota 2 team Neon Sports pulled off a scintillating run in One Sport Singapore Major and finished in joint 5th place. Despite its struggles in the group stages, Neon, consisting of hardcore player and captain Andre Ong, midlaner Aaron Ferrer, support players Jonuel Arcilla and Prim Mac, and stand-in off-laner Yang Wu-Hing of Singapore came alive in the lower bracket playoffs and came just close to making the podium. Sports News, Vinji Maluai. Showbiz update. One of the biggest breakthroughs in the streetwear fashion scene over the last couple of years all came from a humble passion project of one person carving his own legacy, and it started in the most unlikely of places, a simple freebie from the most opulent gathering in Metro Manila. Sam Versosa III, or SP3 to those who know him, has his roots in Sampaloc, Manila. He is the younger brother of the Front Row International CEO and Maserati Philippine President, Sam S.V. Versosa Jr. The Versosa brothers learned the importance of discipline very early in their childhood as they were raised to be self-starters. What's even more admirable is that both men navigate through life with open hearts and have made it their lifelong mission to give back to this world and inspire success in others through generosity. Showbiz News, Vinci Maluai. TVN News Broadcast, TVN News Broadcast. And those are the news we've gathered for today. Again, this is your radio broadcaster, Vinji Maluai, TVN News. We'll be back again for tomorrow's updates. Stay blessed, stay COVID-free. Please avoid violating our protocols for our safety. Once again, good morning Philippines, good morning Claveria.